Hi everyone, it's Jeff Mitosu Crafts and welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Global Stampin' Video Hop with the theme of texture. So today I'll be sharing with you how to create texture using your paper trimmer and sharing with you two cards using the Faux tile technique. So I'll be using my paper trimmer. It comes with the cutting tool and the scoring tool. But for this technique, I'll be using my Take Your Pick tool as well with the bold tool end, just for more deeper scoring lines. I've got two pieces of basic white cardstock, which measures 7 centimeters square or 2¾ of an inch square, and 10.8 by 14 centimeters or 4¼ by 5½. So I'll do the big one first. On the long edge, we're just gonna find the halfway point and then score outwards from there. So the halfway point on the long edge would be 7 centimeters or 2¾ of an inch. Use your scoring tool and then use your bold tool on there as well. Move along an inch or 2.5 centimeters and then do the same. So it's quite repetitive, so I'll just continue on doing this and fast forward the video. Once you've done that, just turn it over and then realign. And then the halfway point for the 10.8 is 5.4 centimeters or 2/1/8 of an inch. Now for the square piece of card, I'll be scoring on all sides at 2.5 centimeters and 0.5 centimeters, or that is 1/4 of an inch and 1 inches. Okay, so I'll be using the right hand side this time. I'll do this in metric this time. So again, score with the tools, move along to 2.5 or 1 inch, and then turn it and then score the same measurements. Okay, we're independent Stampin' Up demonstrators based in the UK, so if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, Netherlands, Belgium, or Ireland, you can purchase current Stampin' Up products from our online shop. So that is pretty much your faux tile technique. You can step it up and do some stamping and ink blending or Stampin Blends coloring. So we'll do the stamping first on here. I'll be using the Labeled with Love stamp set for the butterflies, and the colors I'll be using are Night of Navy, Azure Afternoon, and Balmy Blue. So when you're inking up your outline, I'm gonna use the Night of Navy, and try not to press too hard on your cardstock and just lightly rest it on the card. I'm not pressing, I'm kind of like just resting it. So then you have the outline of each tile, which can be seen. Just repeat that along your card layer, wherever you want your stamp design. For the fillers, I'm gonna use Azure Afternoon. And again, do the same. Just line it up and then rest it on the card. If you want darker colors on some of the butterflies, you can re-ink and lay a second layer of the same color. So now you have your stamp piles. You can step it up even further by ink blending with your blending brush as well as some sticky notes. So for my shading, I'm gonna concentrate on the bottom right. So choose a tile, place the edge of your sticky note just before the score lines, and we're gonna do that on the bottom and the right hand side. I'm gonna use balmy blue and ink that up in a circular motion, but we don't want it too inky, so do use a scrap piece and just take off some excess, so for a smoother blending. And then when you take out your mask, hopefully you can see the difference. I'm just gonna alternate the tiles. You can do every single tile, make the tiles bigger for less ink blending, and then repeat that process on every other tile. So that is the stamping on the faux tile. Once you finish ink blending every alternate tiles, you can just cut that down to size with an equal border around to fit your card base. And here is my finished card using the sentiment. Another way to add texture for your card making is heat embossing. So this one, I use white embossing powder on basic black card and just added some die cuts flourishes from changing leaves. So this original one, I only used the score tool from the paper trimmer, and it's not as wide as the bowl tool. What you could do if it does happen to you that you press too hard, you can use a white gel pen or a chalk marker and just use a ruler and try and lighten the area. But I think that still works, and hopefully you like the idea. So for my second idea, we're actually gonna use our Stampin Blends to create tiles for these. I'll be using various colors. I've got Azure Afternoon, Light and Dark, Blueberry Bushel, Balmy Blue, and Color Lifter. So we're gonna start off with Azure Afternoon Light and color just again before the score lines. I'm just gonna create my border and fill that in. You can use your brush tip if it is nice and intact. Do that for every single line. I'm gonna move in with my dark Azure Afternoon. And because we're gonna do our shading the same bottom and the right hand side, what you could do is do your lines first along those areas. So in case it does dry, you should be able to see that line and it adds to our shading. Check out the description below for the product links as well as the next video in the Global Stampin' video hub. And then with the same marker, we're gonna add our shading on the right hand side and along the bottom on the light Azure Afternoon areas. For the darker ones, we're gonna use dark Blueberry Bushel, or you can use dark Night of Navy. It might be too dark. This one, again, the same areas, and carry on with the rest. And then just to highlight the white tiles, we're gonna use Balmy Blue. So you can either just do the top left corners, again, just before the score lines. If you want another darker area, I'm gonna use dark Balmy Blue. This one towards the bottom right. So I'm just gonna do the opposite corners. If you do find that it's too big, use your color lifter on all four sides and make the edges slightly furry or thinner. So just continue along and do that on every single outline. What you could also do is do the tip to tip technique for a lighter tone. So with your Balmy Blue, touch the end of your color lifter so it fades out at the end. Once you finish that, you can add some more designs on here. I found a really lovely design in the country flowers. So I'm gonna stamp that in Blueberry Bushel and just line that up along the center. If you turn it at an angle, you can see the points of each design and line that up centrally. So do that for every full tile and then finish up with some highlights for each tile using a white gel pen, and we're gonna add on the top left and then bottom right. If it's slightly broken, it's fine, like the lines. It just adds character to each tile and it's not too uniformed. There you go. So once that's done, just mat and layer on a dark card. This is my finished sample. So I've used Night of Navy for the matte, popped that on dimensionals, and for the background I just did a scoring of the tile the same way as I did the previous card, but this time in 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters squares. And the sentiment is from Labeled with Love. The die cut is from Happy Little Things Dies. I hope you enjoyed this card and try the faux tile technique again soon. Do share your creations in our Crafty Stampers Facebook group. We'd love to see your projects. Thanks again for joining me. Until next time, bye!